Hello and welcome back to the Corruption of Colton podcast. This is episode 44, but this is a very special episode because it is the first episode to take place in video. If you're on Spotify or YouTube, you can see, obviously it's in video, you can see my face right now and my beautiful RC Cola t-shirt. But the album we're going to be going over today is a black metal album, an essential black metal album, if you ask my opinion, and that album is Abbath by Abbath. As you can see, I own the physical copy of this album here, and we have a sleeve right here. This is the booklet. This comes on Digipack, which I'm really happy about because it makes it easier to take this booklet out. With jewel cases, it's a lot harder to take it out and put it back in. But this was released in January of 2016, shortly after Abbath, who is the lead singer for Immortal, left Immortal. A lot of the material for this album was actually used for an Immortal album that we were going to get, but he left Immortal for a reason I'm not sure, and took most of the material with him. But see, you got lyrics here, you got some pictures here in the booklet, more lyrics, and basically just more lyrics. This was also the first and only album to feature the drummer Creature. Here's my source right here. This is from Wikipedia, and on Wikipedia you can see what I just said, that this was the first one to feature drummer Creature and the only one. Also that these songs were meant to be for the first Abbath album, or not the first Abbath album, at the time what was going to be an Immortal album. So there you go. And what do I think of the first song, To War? As you can see, I just finished listening to this album on Apple Music, and the song To War is up because I just listened to it one more time in preparation to talk about the song. But what do I think of To War? Well, I think To War is a great black metal intro. It's punchy, it hits you in the face, and it just goes. It doesn't hold back anything. It reminds me of the sound that they had perfected in the band Immortal. And it's recaptured here, but also still capturing its own unique new sound. I feel like the drums are more prominent here than they were in some Immortal songs. Like, I feel like drums are in more full focus. Abbath's voice sounds great. It's just a great first song for a great first album from a Norwegian black metal band. I enjoy it. This next track, Winter Bane, is just a great representation of black metal and Abbath's musical talent and the talent of the people he worked with to make this album. They take full advantage of Creature's drumming abilities on this track, take full advantage of Abbath's unique musical style and vocal style, and it's all around just a great black metal track that's fast, loud, and intense. Probably the best track on this album, if I'm to be completely honest. Ashes of the Damned is another fantastic black metal track that takes full advantage of Abbath's vocal talents, and it just has a great eerie intro. Listen to this. Yeah, hear that? That's eerie as fuck. I love it. The best thing about Ocean of Wounds, aside from Abbath's vocal performance that continue to be amazing, is the drum intro from Creature that is pretty intense and fun to listen to and even drum to, like, you know, drumming your hands on the table kind of thing. It's fun to do for that. Give it a listen. Tried to drum it on the table. I don't know if I could completely keep up with it, though, because it is just a really good intro. Great intro to a great song. Count the Dead is a pretty unique track because it has a melodic feel to it, and usually black metal, isn't about melody. Usually black metal isn't associated with melodic or the word melody. But here, I think the guitars actually produce somewhat of a melody, and it actually does get stuck in my head. It got stuck in my head when I listened to this album. So, honestly, I do think that this song is unique for that reason, that the guitar riff is pretty melodic and seems to follow somewhat of a melody, and I really like this track. I also like the intro of there being a thunderstorm and then Count the Dead. It sounds kind of eerie and sets you up for what kind of song this is obviously going to be. Thin Rear Hunt, track 6, is another case of it's okay. It's not a good song. It's not a bad song. I wouldn't remove it from the album. It's alright. Root of the Mountain, however, is another one that's awesome. I love the intro to Root of the Mountain. I'm probably going to get so copyrighted for this episode because I'm actually being brave and showing you guys moments from this album, but I just think this episode's in video. It's a special occasion. It's a special episode. It calls for some special moments, right? But let me show you. You might think simple black metal riff, right? But then the drums get pretty melodic. We get some melody from Creature. And it's like that for a good minute. And I think that makes this track great. And Abbath's voice does not disappoint. Vocally, he doesn't disappoint. He maintains this amazing vocal performance throughout the track as well. And I think that this song just mixes really well. We then get into the bonus tracks. Eternal, Riding on the Wind, which I believe is a cover, Nebula Arena's Winter, and these are some pretty good bonus tracks in my opinion. They're nothing special. I don't think they add anything crazy to this record, but I do think there's some pretty good songs, and I do think Riding on the Wind is a standout. So I'd say this is a good batch of 3 songs, and overall I think this is a pretty good album. Let's get into my thoughts on Abbath by Abbath. In the end, this is a fantastic black metal record. Abbath has proven that he does not need the Immortal name to build a black metal empire. He built one with Immortal, he leaves Immortal, he puts together an Abbath band, and he builds an entirely new black metal legacy, an entirely new empire around just his name. And he's proven time and time again to be an outstanding musician in the black metal industry. And not to mention, this album is just a roller coaster ride. It's fast, it's heavy, it's aggressive, it's loud, it's in your face, and it's just amazing. I love it. It is a great representation of Abbath's legacy, and I would recommend it to any casual or hardcore black metal fan. I give this album an 8 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed the first video episode of Corruption Occult Podcast. I certainly have enjoyed making this, and I hope you guys will come back next week for the next episode of Corruption Occult Podcast, because video, as far as I'm concerned, is here to stay. So see you guys next week. Remember to follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and remember to tell your friends, and just keep coming back for new album reviews.